All right, Kent, we made it finally. We got through all the technical hurdles,
Wow, I'm glad I don't have to do the technical hurdles.
pros and joes. Kent Chase Golf. We are here. We're trying some fun new things. We're going to do a little weekly go live Monday night podcast. Here with Brian Rahm. He's in the background helping us technically. He's got a great face for radio, so we're not letting him in here yet, but we'll bring him out eventually.
But he's a fine man.
He's a fine man. He's a good friend.
All
He's
in due time, my friends.
Oh no, the voice of many waters. He's supposed to be seen and not heard like your children.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. The past a little over a year, I came to you and I got a lesson package in a JD Hill golf tournament, and I wanted to get some lessons, change my game. I was stuck in the mud, and we met actually at the PGA Superstore because it was during Overseed.
Yeah, that's right.
And I said, Kent, I need some help. Get me unstuck. I've watched thousands of hours of video. A lot to do with my kids. My daughter Zoe is an accomplished player, and I was on the range a lot with her. I love the game for myself as always. Also because my daughter, she picked it up because she saw me with clubs in my hand. And I had a lot of head knowledge, understanding, but I said, Ken, I'm stuck. I have so many, the golf swing's fascinating. There's so many different ways to play golf. There's so many different swings, ways to, as I've learned from you, to manipulate the club.
And you're good at that.
I became very good at it, but it was limiting, right? I've been stuck, between a 10 and 12 handicap for the past, I don't know, probably 5 years. And I wanted to improve, and I realized that I had to stay committed to a process and get someone with a lot of knowledge, understanding, experience. You've played, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. You've played professionally with a lot of the greats. You became an amazing coach, a top coach in the world. You've put dozens of people on various tours, and I'm not doing it any justice. You've written books, and so tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you, Brendan. Well, when I first saw you, I knew you were a very talented individual, very good at golf. I knew you had some uniquenesses in your golf swing, you might call it, but you knew how to pretty much be in charge of your ball flight. You could short game wise chip, bunker shots, putt, quite nice. I mean, amazing. But I saw, my gosh, why is he a 12 handicap? He's so much better than that talent wise, and it's kind of like you weren't quite as unique as Jim Furyk's swing, but unique like that. Him, I knew I better not mess with his swing. The guy's dominating the PGA Tour right now. I probably better figure out what he's doing when he's winning, and let's try to repeat that. You weren't dominating any
tour,
and you're shooting in the 80s when I knew you could shoot. What if this guy had a better golf swing? And so I knew, my gosh, the problem is he's not going to like, kind of like Wild Bill Milhorn when he started messing with me back in the day, early 80s, actually late 70s, early 80s, when he started telling me, my gosh, I really can't work on your swing because I'd have to change everything once I change your grip to the way you should hold it. And I thought, my gosh, so I was having a hard time becoming his student because he already saw I was playing really good. But he also knew I had pretty much maximized my potential. But he actually talked me into changing, knowing that I would suffer for a few months. And he said maybe a half a year. And I did suffer. But I still remember the day committing to the way I'm supposed to hold it, how I'm supposed to align myself, how I'm supposed to posture it, where I'm supposed to take it to. Thus, I could come from the right place. Then I could learn the proper impact position and the way through impact, and learn repetition and learn a finish point, and then learn some amazing short game skills to make me able to compete with the best players in the world. So that's what happened to me. I got to go through that, and that's why I'm able to teach you like I'm able to teach you. or anybody really, because I'm not afraid to change a person if they're willing to devote the time and effort that you're willing to devote to it. Man, you know, you got an athlete, you got a player on your hands, you got a future star. And then I wanted him to quit. I wanted you, no more net division. Let's start having some goals. What are the goals? And it became, well, we need to break par. And maybe we could even compete with Pastor Luke, the pastor of Dream City Church. And man, one day maybe I could beat him. And then I thought, wow, Pastor Luke could have actually played golf for a living, perhaps on the PGA Tour. It was a choice between going into the ministry with the Dream City Churches and follow Tommy Barnett's footsteps in that great calling, or play golf for a living. He was that good.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, hey, maybe we could beat him one day. And that became a goal of mine too. And it was exciting because now we have a purpose. And that's the only way I know how to teach. If there's a goal and a purpose and a reason, instead of just hope you can hit some balls and get a little better one day, then it becomes the overall game. So my great blessing in life is I did get to play with the greats. I got to play in 37 different countries around the world. I had a unique sponsorship where I got to travel and play and compete in all these different tours around the world, and eventually people noticed that I'm pretty good at helping their games too. People that I'm competing against were saying, man, how do you spin the ball like that? How do you curve it like that? And then I got to be friends with people like Chichi Rodriguez. And then I got to play golf with people like Tom Watson and Raymond Floyd. And when I'm playing golf with those kind of people that have won major championships, I kind of learn a lot from them really easily, and I'm easy to become a friend with, so I get to ask questions, and that's who I am with those kind of people. And then you end up playing golf with Bernard Longer, and then you end up playing golf with I could go on and on about the names, even Mac O'Grady and people like that. And it's exciting that they're ball strikers, and they know how to manipulate. They know how to score their ball. They're not just this pure swing. And then you learn from Raymond Floyd, and he's got his unique swing things. But man, can the guy repeat? And wow, does he get it inside 100 yards better than anybody ever played with? And the Tom Kites of the world, and all those people. So I'm blessed to have that life. Where I then ultimately was blessed by people that said, we're going to start your own Kent Chase Golf Academy. So that started, and then I was able to teach a lot of people that actually made it. And then the goal was, how can they get to the dream, which I decided we're going to start calling this dreams or goals. If it's a goal, then we got to work differently than everybody else. And then it became a way to practice superior to other people. And all of a sudden, I was able to help produce junior world championships, junior U.S. Kids World champions, U.S. junior amateur champions, U.S. amateur champions, LPGA Tour champions, PGA Tour, Asian. It got to be my thing, and it's my thrill, and that's what I get to do for a living, and I can't wait, because it's all about how can I help you reach your potential.
Yeah, it's been amazing. So who would you say, let's say instead of putting you on the spot and say who was the best competitor or the best player you ever played against, let's say the top three. Who would you say were the top three professionals that you ever played against? And then how about list one professional that was so good but maybe a lot of people never heard of? Hey, here we are. We were just making sure, I don't know, the audience was still alive. Are we good? Are we back?
So
See?
Do we still know the
question? So the question, so let me repeat the question,
okay,
now that we're live, the question was the top three professional golfers, in your opinion, that you competed against, and then maybe a golfer you want to give a shout out to who was just really good, but maybe a lot of people never heard of, but they could go online, Google, maybe they didn't see him on TV.
I got this. So I have to start with Wild Bill Melhorn, winner of 27 PGA Tour events in the Walter Hagen era. If you can imagine what it's like to learn from the superstar of his day, couldn't putt. He could flat out ball strike it. Ben Hogan called him the best ball striker that ever walked on the planet Earth, better than Ben Hogan himself. But Ben Hogan said, but poor guy can't putt. True story. But wow, can you imagine playing with him? He was in his late 70s and early 80s when I was part of his life. Wow. Okay, that's a thrill. Every ball is curved for a purpose. Every ball is worked. There's a reason that you hit every shot a particular way. That was my thrill. That was so different than the other people I that I had learned from, who said, try this, try that, do this, do that. So there was a purpose. So then I would say the biggest blessing was playing with Hal Sutton. I mean, of all the things, I'm playing with him in the Miami Open at Country Club of Miami in Miami, Florida in 1979. He was so much better than all of us other collegiate players. He was at Centenary.
He's where my wife's from, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was playing at Centenary. Yeah. What a gifted player. I said, my gosh, how did I ever get to be like, I want to be like that. And that's eventually how come I got to know Wild Bill Mellor. Part of the reason I got to learn from him through Hal Sutton. And then I'm playing with Hal Sutton in the Phoenix Open with Tom Watson and him. And I said, man, you know, guess what? It was in the practice round of the Phoenix Open the year Hal Sutton won it. The last year it was ever played at Phoenix Country Club. And I was blessed because Tom Watson invited me to play with him and Hal. And I already knew Hal. Worked out perfect. And I said, my gosh, Tom Watson is hitting in the trees a little bit this week, and Hal Sutton is just like pure, so unbelievable. And it was crazy because he had the ability, the way he did his pre-shot routine, and then he'd look at the target one last time and just rip it, and he wouldn't look up in the air and watch the ball. He would go bam, and he'd look at where it was going to land. He didn't have to follow it up there. He knew. And you saw his eyes. He saw where it was going to go, looked at his ball, bam, and it went where he saw. And you could see that it was going where he saw it go. He knew. He saw a picture of his ball flight the way Wild Bill Mellor always taught me to learn how to vision and picture your ball flight before you ever hit it. And with your swing, it'll fall into what you wanted. Wow. That was probably the biggest early in my career player I ever got to be a little bit of a part of his life. And then I got to play and hang with Payne Stewart. What a blessing to play with Payne Stewart, to know him. Back before he met his wife-to-be, we were on the Asian tour, and he flew off to Australia and comes home with this beautiful blonde person named Tracy, who helped him become a Christian man. And he became a Christian man, and he still was the flamboyant Payne Stewart, but I don't know, we used to think he was kind of cocky, but it was okay because he's better than everybody else, so he can be that way, and we still love him. And man, it was so cool, and being a friend of him, and then the wisdom that he gave to me along the way, and then him becoming a Christian and wearing that bracelet, WWJD, and I said, Payne Stewart, that means what would Jesus do? You know, and he said, well, I found Jesus, and you know, and that was a big turning point. What a great man, and the day he died actually was a really, to a lot of people, but I'm one of them that knew him good enough where we knew the plane was up in the air and we knew it was going down. That day it was on TV, on every channel probably.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great man, what a great player. Wish he was still amongst us. So those would be probably my top three. But then Chichi Rodriguez. Can you imagine playing with Chichi Rodriguez? And he's asked me to join his group. And he's telling me when he met me on the driving range, he goes, how in the world? He goes, Raymond Floyd, that little man, how does he hit the ball so far? True story. I'm bombing it like crazy, and he can't believe it. And we became friends.
Okay, so
And what a shot maker. Wow.
the audience wants to know, how tall are you, Kent?
Same exact as Chichi Rodriguez, 5'6". And I might be lying.
5'6".
My license says 5'6".
Well, okay, but so
That's an official document.
we may in one of these podcasts have to get out a tape measure and just to prove that,
Well,
because
Ian Woosnam is 5'4", and I'm taller than him. So, you know, we see eye to eye, but I look down a little bit.
did you hit it past Ian?
Ian hits it far. No, I was kind of like him.
Okay.
I was long. I was longer than Chichi, with Raymond, not as far as Tom Watson. Bernhard Langer, a little farther than him back in the day.
So when you're on tour, here's a question. Like when I'm out playing with my buddies, when I'm out playing with Brian Rahm, I want to hit it past them. Like I want to be some guys,
Not very hard.
but like, you know, I get out, like you mentioned, shout out Pastor Luke Barnett, Dream City Church. He hits it far. Like very rarely do I ever, like if I hit it even with him on that rare occasion when I hit the center of the face and he misses it a little bit, I'll get up there by him. I feel good, but
And you landed on the car path with a draw.
yeah. So yeah, right. Come on, you can't wrap me out on the podcast.
You actually have learned to hit it really, really pretty amazing.
Well, so how do you? So when you're obviously you want to hit it past your buddies, but there's just some guys that you know that my best drive's maybe 20, 25 behind their best drive.
Let me do it this way. So I'm paired with Fred Couples back when they used to have Q School, Tour Qualifying School.
Yeah.
I'm paired with him in the final round, and Mac O'Grady, and that's a pretty cool pairing.
That's a great pairing.
Yeah, and I'm in contention. I mean, I'm playing really good. And Fred Couples, and you know how everybody loves Fred Couples' swing, his tempo, his timing. Even though he's got his own little uniquenesses, he's got some club hit speed that people don't really understand he's got, and he looks like he's swinging easy. So
it doesn't look like it, right?
I see it so far. Okay, when you're playing with him, and you're using back in the day Bellata balls, and Mac O'Grady's cool, by the way, really cool. He's done course records right and left-handed. Playing with him, it's shockingly awesome. But Fred Couples is out driving us without even thinking. Like, how in the heck could somebody be hitting at 350 yards with a Bellata ball? We're hitting ours like 280, 290 with a Bellata ball and wooden clubs, and we're ripping it. And this Freddie Couples, it's like, this is a different sport. He's got nothing. He's got 9 iron into par 5s, and we're trying to see if we can get there in 2. It's crazy. By the way, Fred Couples, what a thrilling person to get to know. What a great friend. My wife loved Fred Couples too. Wow, before she went to heaven. Wow, and Seve Ballesteros. But back to Freddie. He's
ripping it.
He's it's just like and so straight and so accurate and so relaxed. My gosh, every shot is so.
So how do you resist the urge when there's someone that is hitting it by you, and to not try and keep up, right? Because it can take you out of your game when you're swinging 120% because you wanna compete.
I used to get to play with Fred Funk. If you remember Fred Funk.
Yes.
Fred Funk's my size.
Great putter. Didn't hit it very far.
Hit it short.
Right?
I hit it. I can bomb it by Fred Funk.
Yeah.
He'll if he hears this, it's true.
Sorry, Fred. You're a great player. You're a great player, but we're just talking golf.
Yeah. So Fred Funk, but he didn't care that somebody hit it past him, like Corey Pavin. Who cares? This is where I hit it, and he's plotted it. He's got a game plan for every round of golf. It's not like, let me see if I can hit it really far in this one so I have less club in. How about just hit it where I'm going to hit it and do what I'm going to do from wherever I'm going to be? And a strategy, a way to play. I mean, Fred Couples could prove to us that he could hit it even farther, and we've had things with that on the range with Tom Seekman and Hal Sutton and Payne Stewart, and we're seeing who can hit the longest 9-iron. And why don't you hit a 9-iron 220 yards when you're playing on the tour? Because I found the swing, pace, tempo, or authority level that I can repeat the most often, and it gives me this many yards, and I go golfing with that. Yeah, he could prove that he can hit it farther if he needed to.
Yeah, it's like when Tiger used to hit 3 woods past guys and just kind of grin, and they were, Phil, he would say this on tour. He didn't love that when Tiger would hit 3 wood just past Phil's really good drive.
But Tiger, you can see, is putting a lot of Greg Norman type energy into it. He's pretty much in the day when he was hitting it forever past everybody. He put a lot of 95% of his ability to generate power into the ball. That's a different breed.
So over this past year, I had to, when I came and saw you and you started working with my, manipulations, and I had to get worse before I got better. I had to stay committed to the process. I like to play through, learn on the golf course.
Right.
I don't mind practicing. Like I'm not opposed to practicing or grinding out on the golf course, but I like to play in the men's group in the game, and some of the people we know, I've teased. I've said, yeah, if you want to go from a 10-5 to a 14-6 handicap, Kent Chase is your guy. He took me there. He got me there in a few months, and but the reality was, in my mind, as I was going through this improvement cycle, my brain saying, you can score better the old way, but I knew that my potential was limited by the old way, because some days I'd time it and I'd have a good score, but I was wanting to be a better consistent player. And so I knew I had to stay committed, because I would see results. I would see a few holes of amazing, like that's the guy I want to be. Yeah. And then the old guy comes out, the old manipulation, the old move. Yeah, and then I'm, but again, my scores were going up, and and sometimes we're playing for a few dollars in the weekly men's game, and I don't want to be a bad teammate, obviously, and anyway, but I stayed committed to that, and some of those goals that we talked about, like I shot under par. I shot a 71 last summer,
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
which was
never
amazing.
done before.
I had shot 70. I had shot even par once years ago at Cave Creek. They had one of the par fours playing as a par three, so it was an even par round.
Okay.
And that was the best, when all the stars and planets, they all aligned, and so it was an even par 71, and so I broke par. But it's been remarkable. I got down to my lowest handicap. I got down to an 8.5 in the summer. And again, along the way, I'm coming back. All right, Kent, give me the next building block, the next
Right.
thing. And it's so. What would you say? What are keys when someone's going through swing changes? What are some keys to continuous improvement? What would you say to people that, right? Because everybody, like, you know this if you're watching, everybody's a swing coach. Everybody's got the quick tip of the day. Everybody, and if people that have played more golf than you have, if you're new to the sport, I mean, there are people that can help you with get a decent grip or get aligned, and the low-hanging fruit, 5 fundamentals. But how do you stay, like, people that don't just want to tip, but want to go to another level? I mean, would you recommend coaching? Would you recommend whatever YouTube video, a combination?
I have a hard time with this word called coaching unless they've been trained first. And if they have proper training, then they become coachable. So you don't just, in my opinion, you don't just go out and coach somebody that's not doing things the right way. So the way I do it differently than anybody that I've ever actually met is I'm out to exploit your weak points. I am going to find something wrong with your game that's making you shoot higher scores than you want to.
That's true.
And I don't know what your issues are going to be till I get to know you better, and then I watch you, and then we go on the course, and I get to witness it, and things like that.
Didn't you say I had subscriptions of issues? I didn't have issues.
Well,
I had subscriptions of
Yeah,
issues.
but see, it's kind of like when Lee Trevino, what another story that would be if I talked about Lee, or Davis Love came on the tour, and Lee Trevino couldn't believe this new Davis Love was coming out there hitting it another mile past everybody else back then, and he said, I know he's got a weak point somewhere. I'm going to find that weak point. I'm still going to find that weak point. So the idea is, if you could find the weak points of every player, and every player's got 1, 2, 3, or a lot, then if you put everything into an objective where they have to produce, now you are involved in building something that'll get your ball where you wanted your ball to be, whether it's field goals on the driving range, whether it's distance control inside 100 yards every single yardage, whether it's different shots around the green, whether it's bunker play, whether it's specialty shots, curving it this way, curving it that way, whether it's being in charge of your ball flight on your what's your natural ball flight. Can we go around the course, but when the hole is shaped differently, are we in charge of can we actually make decisions on how to play every single golf shot, but could we practice in a way that could define that? For you, first we had to get a little more fundamentally sound, less preferences in your approach to hitting golf shots.
It's true.
And I mean, a lot of guys can teach you how to grip it and align it and posture it and where the ball should be in your stance for different reasons, for different purposes, for different shots that you have. So, but and a lot of people, not enough, teach you that you should actually start in the right place and then take it to the right place. And if you could start in the right place and take it to the right place, it would mean you'd be coming from the right place. And if you were coming from the right place, you got a chance at learning a golf swing. And that's the greatest thing. Start in the right place, take it to the right place.
And it works.
And it works. And
I promise it works.
Yeah, but not enough people know that there needs to be a position of readiness, the correct place to come from. So they just beat balls coming from a wrong place, and then people say, try this, try that, here's some quick tips. Yeah.
So, yeah, the getting your club to a good place, to the right place, is, that's been important. That's been something that, swinging on plane, I guess.
Swinging on
the
plane.
right place is, people have heard that, right?
Plane, yeah.
Yeah, and it's.
But it's actually simple. People say, can't you just make it simple? Yeah, hold it like this, align it like that, posture like that. Here's where the ball goes for this shot. Take it back to here. Now we can learn golf. And then let's be out there learning some shot making skills.
Right. Yeah, your fundamentals:
simple.
grip, alignment, posture, ball position, take it to the spot.
Now you
Let
can
it
initiate the move, and then you can learn
and
it
go.
on the way through, and you can, wow. It gets
Yeah,
fun. It gets really fun. And everybody knows that after they've gone through it, but it takes a
takes a
It's
while.
not just one and done. Let's give me some quick tips and hope you can get a little better one day. You got to commit.
That's a way. That's a Band-Aid, but it's not like it's not a because again, I've went through that, like read and watched and experimented, but I believe everyone needs a set of eyes and a great coach that's been there and done that understands. That's, you learned from Wild Bill Melhorn, and you were a pretty good player, right? You were like, I wouldn't say like me, you were a lot better than me, but you were kind of a self-taught guy.
I learned from different people, and I explored different books. My dad said you should just read all these books, and I had a lot of Arnold Palmer, Sam Snead, Jack Nicklaus's books, and I would read those, and I would find different opinions. So I was seeking, and then I would listen to people like Mac O'Grady, or listen to people like Sevi that were shot makers. I would listen to people. So I was exploring my own way with a really crazy strong grip, doing it my way. So yeah, it was actually really, once I learned correctly, I became a really good player. But by then, man, my first book, if I only had a mulligan, I sure would have learned the correct way in the first place.
Yes.
That was it. That's because then maybe you're the guy that would have been out there with those guys all the time.
Yeah, and that's so important. So before you met Wild Bill Melhorn and talked him into teaching you, you were an All-American, right? You played here in the Valley.
Yes.
You played was it Scottsdale?
I was the first All-American in the history of Scottsdale Community College, which has produced many All-Americans.
You were the first.
I was the number one. Tom Gray was the first All-American in Arizona. I was the second, but I was the first at Scottsdale Community College.
Scottsdale Community College.
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
And they're still producing.
Yep, and that's where
Who was your coach?
Steve Loy was my coach.
Steve Loy?
Steve Loy coached. I was the first All-American that played under his coaching. Before John Daly, when he went to Arkansas, before Phil Mickelson, I was his first golfing All-American. He was football before that, but he was golf, left-handed player, really good player himself. Steve Loy,
really,
all these years been Phil Mickelson's agent. So yeah, Steve Loy, what a great coach. He really, we'd go in there and complain, gosh, coach, man, I hit that short on so many holes. He'd say, come on, man, you really going to give me those kind of excuses short all day? What the heck? Make the adjustment. In other words, he didn't want to hear it. Make the adjustment. Big thing. Yeah, Steve Loy.
So how long were you at Scottsdale Community?
2 years before I went.
2 years? And then you went to Florida International?
That's when I got a full ride scholarship to Florida International University.
Was Wild Bill Melhorn the coach at Florida International?
No, but he was there at Fontainebleau Country Club.
Got it.
Which was our home course.
So he was an outside instructor. He was teaching.
Yeah, he wasn't coaching our team necessarily, but he did help Bobby Shave, who was the coach. But I wasn't having anything to do with him back then because I didn't know the wisdom that I was missing out on. But then when I learned how Sutton was working with him, then I was really interested in learning from him. And that's what happened.
So had you become a professional by the time?
When I was still my senior year of college at Florida International University is when I got to start playing golf with him.
Got it.
And learned shot making skills and learned his communication style and learned that fades curve right, but they end up left of the target. I started learning shot making skills. I started learning bunker play. I started learning short game skills. I started learning a lot of things a lot differently than I'd ever learned them before. Nobody ever taught me how to be a player. They just tried to teach me how to swing like this or like that. So, yeah, but then after that, man, I became a follower of him big time.
Yeah.
And then, yes, as a professional, that's all I ever cared about was doing it, whatever he taught me.
So, Kent Chase Golf on Facebook.
Yep.
You have the Kent Chase Golf Academy here in Sun City.
Yep.
It's where we're recording from tonight. You have a really fun series on Facebook. You have these clips you call Faith Over Fear. And it's been fun. I've got to be part of those with you. I've got to video some of those and learn. Really, it's fascinating to me. I like to come out just to learn the shots because I can learn by watching you.
You can, yeah.
And so putting your students in these tough spots, right? Like you said, you're going to find that area of weakness. You're going to exploit that, right?
Kind of like what Earl Woods did, and I was friends with Earl Woods at some point in life. He liked that I was like him. Let's get into all these crazy bad spots that you're going to end up in the golf courses one day in tournament play. Somehow your ball knows it's a big tournament, it gets into worse spots. Can you get up and down from anywhere, or is it like the announcer on TV says, my gosh, he's got the greatest imagination. How did he hit that shot? He's got the best hands. No, he knows how to play the shot. Been there before. If you have knowledge of how to get out of trouble, you don't fear trouble, and you can take dead aim at targets, and there's a whole different sport.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And we collab on some Pros and Joes, right?
Love Pros and Joes.
Pros and Joes, it's a lot of fun. It's having pros, good, lots of wisdom from guys like you, the professionals, and then the average Joes. I'm a Joe.
But you're not the average one, because now you're becoming a low handicap, and pretty soon we're not going to have to play golf.
Pretty soon, that's this year's goal, right?
Yep.
So we achieved some of the goals. I've got to get back after it. I'm working. I think I need to get a little more distance, because
Scotty Scheffler move, maybe?
Well, we're working on that. We'll put some of that content on Pros and Joes and Faith Over Fear just to show people. But it's been a lot of fun, Kent. I've really enjoyed this working with you over this past year and in the future. You helped coach at Dream City Christian, our golf team.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's just been fun. It's been remarkable. It's been a great friendship. I love this game. I enjoy this game. You're making me so much better and just helping me to think about this game in different ways. And
that's awesome. Thank
you. And so the intention of this podcast is just to talk about golf, to talk about how it impacts. We'll talk about our faith. I mean, we both love Jesus. We're sold out. We share our faith whenever we can. It's an important part of our lives. And there's a lot of parallels in the game of golf. And I see you as you're teaching a lot of people, explaining the parallels of the path we're working on and the biblical values. And
I love it.
And if people are hearing, don't tune this out. This is a part of our lives that we want to share because it's important to us, and we think, it's like if you had something good in your life, you'd want to share that. And so this isn't going to be a program where we're Bible thumping people, but we're going to share our faith. We're going to share how it's impacted our lives, and it's helped us for the better. And we're going to have other guests. We'll have Brian on here and talk about what he's going through and how his life has been shaped. And we'll have J.D. Hill on here, and we'll have, the intention is to have, Alan Solheim, and just to have people, from our different spheres, students, people that this game of golf has impacted, and we're going to even take some audience questions. And so if you have any questions, put a comment in the post. If you have any golf questions you'd like to learn. If someone wants to come out here and book a lesson, what would be the best way to get a hold of Kent Chase?
Wow. The easiest way, and I have this one phone number, is for text only, and I'll give you that phone number. That's the easiest way, if that's all right. 602-718-9109. Text me at that number. I will definitely respond to any text if you identify who you are, and you can even ask me questions, and I'm totally willing to answer those questions. And if you want to look me up on I think it's called Faith Over Fear. It's called Kent Chase Ministry. I'm not positive. There's a few old things on Facebook, but the new Kent Chase Ministries. Look up KentChaseGolf.org and see what you'll learn a little bit about my testimony, what I'm all about. But that'll steer you in the right direction to check out this Faith Over Fear content. It's actually really cool. We're getting a lot of followers, and the greatest thing about this is we're almost to 1 million people now that are viewing this. And when we get to that point, it helps raise money for some of the causes I represent, which are my passion of I'm really representing Dream Centers in my fight against modern slavery called human trafficking. And we have at the Dream Centers, we have the largest human trafficking recovery center in North America, the second largest in the world. So that's a passion of mine. That's why I would love you guys to follow this on Facebook, the Faith Over Fear series going through KentChaseGolf.org. And I also, through this, am able to raise money for my fight against this hurting world in terms of homelessness, addictions, afflictions. There's a lot of people in this world, as you know, as this audience knows, that are struggling on the streets. It's crazy how many people are living on the streets these days. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And I've actually got a lot of friends through the Dream Center who have lost their life when they get back into their addictions, because things are laced with fentanyl. The number one cause of death in America these days, above cancer, is that. So my fight is to help the people recovering from homelessness and helplessness and hunger and starvation, and helping the families that are struggling on the streets. And I'm really a big spokesperson against modern slavery, human trafficking. So yeah, follow us, and then
and Phoenix, shout out PhoenixDreamCenter.org.
Yeah.
We it's an amazing place. So many lives have been restored.
Yeah.
And then
One of them.
Brian's another one. Yeah.
And mine.
And Kent Chase and
something.
yes.
You know, when you purchase, when you commit to learning golf from me, I am 100% giving the money to the causes I represented right now, and to one other cause, GPS, Golf Programs in Schools, by Tom Lagring, who founded a way to put golf into
Great
the
man.
public school system as curriculum. And he also believes in God. He's a believer. So the GPS, Golf Programs in Schools, when we off-campus them, we can speak the parallels of biblical principles and life principles with golf principles to help make better players and help keep people from off the street. So when you learn from me, you're helping a lot of different really cool things. So yeah, that's pretty much what, I don't put any money in my pocket. So it's not just the proceeds, I'm giving it all. So we've got some people that are coming in that are helping fund some things, that are helping fund our studios and our outdoor areas and our new short game areas and all that. So, and we're all about maximizing your potential and helping people, particularly the young, have a better lifestyle, a better future, better hope, better potential, purposeful life. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. We are going to have every Monday night, and we'll stream this on Kent Chase's page. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. We'll push this over and put it on our various channels. And every Monday we're going to run this thing. So again, like and subscribe. Post any questions or comments. We'll share some fun golf stories. We'll share the transformation of lives through the various ministries. We'll have various guests that come in and talk about how their lives have been impacted, and then how we're all getting together through this amazing game of golf.
Well, I must just close for me, and then you'll close it out. But this Pros and Joes thing, in life, you've become a major mentor to me, and often you're thanking me for what I've done for you in golf, but I'm the Joe in this thing called life, and I want to just do a shout out for, my gosh, you've been an amazing person, and my significant person in my walk, in my new path, because as you know, I've gone through a few things and ended up living at the Dream Center, going through the Recovery Center myself. So, and that could be a really long story. I'm sure we'll share it over the weeks at some point. But I just want to thank you on the air for being my pro for life skills.
Wow. Well, it's fun to be in the game, Kent. You're a amazing friend, and I appreciate you. And thanks for those kind words. And with that, before our batteries run out, I think it's about time to sign off.
Thank you. And let's make more putts. Bam.
All right.
Thank you, Brendan.
We'll see you next.
Drive for show, putt for dough. I
Drive
always say,
for show.
putt for dough.
But if you don't get off the tee, you aren't going to be putting until like your 6th or 7th stroke.
I say bomb it, gouge it, and make some putts.
That's right. And then quit school. Wait, turn pro. Something. Don't quit school. Don't. Those are for another time. All right, guys.